New Orleans has suffered and endured and survived so much 3 years after Hurricane Katrina left the city underwater and raised questions about whether this unique American place would ever rebuild. Storm-weary residents braced for what their mayor called the mother of all storms. Well, Gustav certainly wasn't that. But Katrina's chilling and inescapable echoes could be heard today as this storm rolled in.
Gustav isn't the first sloppy visitor to blow into this town and trash the place, but he was big enough to ruin the fun for everyone. No beignets at Café Du Monde, no jazz at Preservation Hall, and most ironic, no hurricanes at Pat O'Brien's. But even without humanity, the town is still steeped in history, so what about a good old-fashioned walking tour?
Do you give many tours in hurricanes?
No, but with one.
With one in hand.
With extra cherries, yes.
Randy Bibb is relieved the city survived Gustav, and he can't wait to get back to his passion, sharing the story of New Orleans with visitors.
I mean, you know, people call me up and say, can you do a voodoo tour? Oh, yeah. Literary tour, music tour, you name it, I can do it.
But he is resistant to a new offering that has risen in popularity in recent years, the Katrina Tour. Brochures for them are common in hotel lobbies and on travel websites. See where the raging waters swept homes and residents away, they promise. Regardless of the tour company, the destinations are almost always the same, starting at the Superdome. 3 years ago, the home of the Saints was the shelter of last resort and a site of utter misery. Some called for its demolition, but there it stands, locked tight, not a soul to be seen.
We need to get out of here or we're going to die here. They left us here to die.
Katrina and human failure also turned the convention center into a house of horrors. Today it is the staging ground for nearly 2,000 National Guard troops. We head for water, past the rebuilt yacht club where a man rides out the storm aboard his boat, and on to see the infamous failed levees. The rebuilding effort is only a third of the way complete, but they hold against Gustav today, though there is a not-so-subtle reminder of this storm's respectable force.
We're told that this ship was docked for repairs but came loose from its moorings and has been pushed by the wind up against this side of the canal. But what's most dramatic about it is just a few feet south, it would have smashed into this pumping station.
Next is the Garden District, an odd addition considering Katrina left most of these grand mansions relatively intact. Maybe it's on the grim list to add a bit of celebrity punch.
We have people come by and they always stop right there in the corner and say, that's John Goodwin's house.
Ann Rice used to live right around the corner. This is the nicest neighborhood in town, and we find more evacuation defiers here than anywhere else.
Evacuating's a pain.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound overly sentimental either, but I mean, this was like the first house I actually bought and I own. And so, you know, I didn't want to just sit at home and wonder. Garden District's the best neighborhood in the South.
In harsh contrast, it is followed by what may be the saddest neighborhood in the South, the lower 9th Ward. There are a few signs of restoration, but most of it still looks like this.
It's like somebody walked away from here and never came back. This must have been floating for weeks after Katrina, and here it sits and rots. It's still a full jar of olives in this neighborhood grocery.
One visit here, and it is obvious why Randy Bibb refuses to give the Katrina tour.
I've actually taken two, and one time the bus driver actually stopped the bus in front of a devastated house to let tourists get off and take photographs of these people's pain. I find that most of the devastation tours keep trying to focus on what was lost, and nobody's emphasizing how far we have come.
So maybe the best place to end this storm tour is in the shadow of Robert E. Lee. Legend has it that they placed the Civil War hero facing north as an act of Southern defiance. And tonight, at least, it's also the perfect position to watch Gustav leave town. For Nightline, I'm Bill Weir in New Orleans.
And our thanks to Bill Weir for that report. Well, when we come back, politics and a surprising story out of the Republican National Convention. The presumptive vice presidential nominee's 17-year-old daughter is pregnant. My co-anchor, Cynthia McFadden, is there to tell us how that news is being received.